never let go.
What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Another super hot day here, guys. And of course, we have the best event tournament starting in the game in a few hours. Clan versus clan in the next 18 hours. Super excited. Me and all my buddies. And I'm sure all of you guys are the same. Super excited for CVC. This video right here, guys, is a takeover for B Lakes. So we're gonna do an endless buff clan boss team. We're not gonna have any counter attack. We're not gonna have any unkillable whatsoever. Literally an endless buff. So yeah, it does sound pretty intimidating. It's gonna have so many buffs on the team that you're gonna be like, are they ever gonna end? No, they are not gonna end. But we are gonna take him from 29 million damage up to easily 2-key Ultra Nightmare, 1-key Nightmare, Wrecking Brutal, and the rest of them, because this team works on every single difficulty. This team as well, it is very viable for all affinities, affinity friendly. So let's have a look at what exactly I'm talking about. Now, if we're looking right here on the Deadwood Jedi calculator, for whoever doesn't know Deadwood Jedi, make sure you guys go and subscribe to his channel. He's actually the person who kind of made this calculator possible for all of us to use right here and test teams without wasting keys, gems, etc. So awesome stuff. Maybe some of you guys are not familiar. It's pretty easy to actually use the calculator. But the champions we're gonna use, guys, is Iron Brago, Fusion Champion, Krisk the Angelis, not easy to get, Gotzi Karaniri is an epic champion, Underpriest Brogni, another Fusion Champion, and we have Farakin the Fat. Now, champions that can replace any of these ones in the team. Instead of Iron Brago, you can run a Sepulture Sentinel. You can run Alton. More or less kind of like, that's about it. You can run even a Tyrell if you don't have better options. But of course, Iron Brago, Alton, what's her name? Sepulture Sentinel, Tyrell, they're kind of like the best champions for attack down. They have an aura, they have something like a passive, something to come and play and improve the team. Krisk is the only champion in this team that is irreplaceable. You cannot replace Krisk with nobody. Gotzi Karaniri, you can replace her with another Krisk, or if you have Sunless Survivor, you can replace Gotzi Karaniri. Underpriest Brogni is replaceable as long as you are running instead of Iron Brago, Sepulture Sentinel. So I actually made a very similar team ages ago with Deadwood Jedi on my channel. Feel free to check that out. I'm gonna put it up here on the screen, guys, so you can have a look if you're curious about it. What champions we used there was kind of different. Was an easy 1-key, 100+ million damage with that team, but we used Draco, we used Sepulture Sentinel, and we have Valkyrie in the team, so was counter attack, was that huge shield, so the team survived quite a good amount of time. Now, Underpriest Brogni is a very solid champion. While we're gonna do the run as well, we're gonna talk about the champions, their gear, etc. Farakin the Fat can be replaced by other champions. Now, if you want this team to be affinity friendly, you need that block debuffs on the team. So Underpriest Brogni, you need, how I said, Sepulture Sentinel, block debuffs. You could use a Grizzle Jarl instead of Brogni, but hey, you won't be getting much benefits overall from the team, and the team won't survive as long because you're not gonna have a shield, and you're gonna have less damage as well. Now, Farakin the Fat, how I said, can be replaced by any other DPS in the entire game. It doesn't matter who, as long as he's not gaining extra turns from a Relentless set. You cannot use Relentless on him because that's gonna mess everything up. So how you guys can see, the list of buffs is endless. Look at all these buffs on the champions, right? These are the speeds you see on the screen. I'm gonna show them at the end as well, but basically you gotta be super careful with speed sets, perception sets. You gotta respect the speeds right here. What I would suggest you is to go on the website deadwoodjedi.com, go on the calculator, put in the champions that you're gonna use, put in the speeds, right, and then put the sets that you're gonna use as well. So if you guys can see here, speed settings, you can pick the sets that you have on your champions. One speed and perception set, 3 perception sets, 3 speed sets, etc. No Lord of Steel on any champion. So Lord of Steel Mastery is bad for this because it's not really calculating the speed properly. The speeds are very, very tight on some of the champions. So if you're off by a little bit, the team is gonna fall off. So for example, we have Brogni, 227 speed, real speed, 226.99. We change one speed, we want lower one speed, everything is dead. The team is dead. It's not working anymore as intended. And it's 225.99. That's because speed sets, perception sets, so if it's not on point, it's not gonna work. Just so you guys know before you loading my comment section with questions like this. But here we are, let's take them in for a spin and see what damage are we gonna take with this team. And how is the team working? It's pretty easy to set it up, honestly. You can set it from the team presets to go on full auto, that's fine. One thing I kind of wanna point out here, you can start with the defense up, of course, because it's better. A2 on a Godseeker Raniri, actually A2 on Krisk, we're not gonna buff speed just yet. Ferrokin the Fat, whatever, when we get to him, we're gonna have a 2-turn delay on this skill right here because I want to have shield on every single AoE for my team to survive longer. If I'm not doing that, the team is kind of gonna get messed up. So I'm gonna keep a 2-turn delay on that. I'm gonna use his A2 first. I think I can set that from team presets as well to make that go on a 2-turn delay. Use the A2, use A1, use A3 without creating any problems. I just hope I can. So here, we're gonna buff, increase crit rate, crit damage, ally attack. Because why not? So, Ferrokin the Fat, amazing, amazing epic champion. How you guys can see, we have a toxic set on a champion as well. We're gonna talk about that in a second as well because that's another 200 IQ move from Plarium. We're gonna buff speed right here. So basically, we have a 1-turn delay on Krisk on his A3. We have a 2-turn delay on Brogni's A3. And is about it. That's about it. Pretty much call it a full auto, right? So actually from here on, I can click full auto. Nothing really stops me. That's how much you need to set up the team. And once we get to turn 6, the team is going to be set up on a 2-to-1 ratio. So basically, that's how this team works. 2-to-1 ratio, we're gonna get 2 turns per 1 clan boss turn, to say like this. Is affinity friendly? It's gonna take around turn 10, turn 11 for the team to sync up, if you follow the same rotation. If you don't wanna get decreased speed on your team, just have 1 turn delay on a Brogni's A3. So don't use it on the first AoE, use it on the second. And like that, you should be syncing up faster than a turn 10 or 11. And the team is just full of buffs. We have ally protection, defense up, increased speed, shield, increased attack, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and block debuffs. We have a huge amount of buffs on the whole team. Like look at all that list of buffs, guys. That's why this team is called the Endless Buff Team. And how I said, we've made this team ages ago with Deadwood Jedi on my channel. Was a kind of slightly different, crazier champions, more damage, but we had counter-attack in that. Here we have no counter-attack, no unkillable whatsoever. Of course, you can fit some sort of unkillable in this team as well. If you have some champion that can land unkillable, you can make your team to have unkillable on the AoEs and still run the same way. Like instead of Brogni, for example, if you have a Sir Nicholas, maybe a Roshkar will be better because you have block damage, so you don't have to worry about the stun, and you could go on and on and on like this as well. You know, you don't need a tag down for the stun, you don't need defense up for the stun, so that's kind of like the only map part. But you will be surviving longer like that, definitely, with the block damage for the AoEs, you know. And it is gonna work with a 4-turn cooldown. You should be able to make it stay at least on one of the AoEs, you know. On the second one is the most important. That's kind of like the biggest damage output from the clan boss. But this team works better on different affinity because of Brogni. So Brogni's passive is broken. It procs Giant Slayer hits. We do have him on a toxic set because his passive, Reflect Damage, can proc poisons as well from the toxic set. So that's why we have Brogni on a toxic set. But I'm gonna show you the gear in a bit as well. It is pretty funny to see that Plarium made a champion like that, which I really thought that it might be broken in a way or another, but they clearly specify that no, the champion is not broken, it works as intended, guys. So there it is. Brago, the best fusion we've ever had. I've told you when the fusion dropped out, a lot of you guys kind of said, well, content creators are overhyping champions just because Plarium pays them millions of dollars and Skratch sits in the Bahamas right now with cocktails and a lot of stuff around. Well, that's not true, guys. Nobody pays us to overhype champions at all. We say what we feel about the champions. I felt like he was the best fusion we had, and honestly, I still stand for it. I'm not disappointed at all. Iron Brago was an extremely hard fusion. Not Iron Brago, sorry. Brogni was an extreme fusion, but is the best fusion we had. And Iron Brago as well. Crazy good fusion. So, yep. If you had a chance to fuse it, grats. If you haven't, because you were limited on resources, is unfortunate. And I feel bad that you didn't manage to do it. But hopefully you're going to pull the champions out of shots. Iron Brago, definitely the best attack down champion in the entire game. And defense up for a clan boss. Brogni is just crazily stupid for clan boss, which honestly I wasn't expecting him to be that good for clan boss. But his passive makes him so crazy. Ferakin the Fat, how I said, is my second most favorite epic champion in the entire game after Madame series. Just because he offers so much in his kit. Like, I don't have full crit rate on all the champions because of him. We do have poisons, defense down as well, we have HP burn. Brogni, he's landing HP burn time to time. I kind of chose a path to don't have full accuracy on him. But I'm gonna show you the speeds here, guys, before we move over to show you the gear, and I'm gonna fast forward all the runs here. But we have Iron Brago on 269. 268, no good. Unless you are on clear speed, 268. This is 267.82. It messes up everything. So 269, I've told you. Keep an eye here on the speeds, move them up and down, see what works, what doesn't work anymore. Krisk, 239 speed. Godseeker Aniri, 244, 243 doesn't work anymore. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And one thing I would suggest you can put your delays right here. So we have Krisk, A3, delay 1 turn, okay? Godseeker Aniri, no delays. Under Priest Brogni, we have his A3 on a 2-turn cooldown delay. That's about it. The rest doesn't really matter. Ferakin the Fat, I choose to use his A3 first because he's on a longer cooldown and we want to buff the team. So that's why I'm using that instead of the other skill. But that's kind of how your thing should look in the calculator. Syncing up from turn 6, guys. So this is turn 6. We start going on a 2-to-1 ratio fully for the entire team. So do that in the calculator and you should be more than good. Now, I'm going to fast forward from here to the end of the run, guys. Near the end, we're going to see how many turns we're going to survive and what sort of damage we're dealing as well. How you guys can see, we are dealing 1.2 million damage per turn, more or less. And that's without counterattack, without having any sort of crazy poisoner in the team as well. No weaken either. So that's a pretty huge difference. So I'll see you all in a bit. Back at it, we are on turn 38 with 41 million damage. So we are definitely doing 1.2 million damage per turn, around there. The debuff bar is almost full. We have lots of poisons, attack down, defense down, HP burn. So that brings us a pretty good damage overall. How you guys can see, we easily passed the 2 key territory, and that's on Void, and how I said it works on every single affinity. Doesn't really matter what affinity it brings to you. Of course, the damage for Ferakin might be a bit weaker on the strong affinity. Same for Brogni as well. So overall, depending by the affinity, you might want to rotate. Him out. You know, even Brago maybe would not be a bad choice to be rotated with a Sepulchre Sentinel for the affinity, if you have the options, of course, and you want to have a consistent damage to select this. I am curious to run this team with Sepulchre Sentinel instead of Iron Brago, just to see her passive. So I would put Krisk in the second slot if I would run Sepulchre, because the passive kind of prioritizes the positioning from what I understood. So because she's the lead and we have the defense lead as well, I feel like her passive might help to keep Krisk alive a bit longer, because you're gonna see Krisk is gonna be the first champion we're gonna lose here, just for the simple fact that he has the ally protection. Godseeker Aniri, she's kind of like the weakest champion in this team. She doesn't have the best gear overall. One thing I would change to improve the team is to use a Guardian set on a champion like Iron Brago, for example. If I would have one of those sets to kind of run like double ally protection to protect a bit Krisk as well, definitely we're gonna survive a bit longer. I would not change the Toxic set from Brogni, no way. Sorry if I'm keep mixing up these champions, Brogni, Brago, they have such similar names on this aspect that sometimes I'm just messing them up, but that's kind of like one way I would be able to change up. So we lost Godseeker Aniri, her passive came in play, revive Krisk. So from here on, it's not like we're gonna last much longer, honestly. We might be getting to 50 million damage if we're lucky here. Krisk is gonna get a stun. There we go, we lost Krisk as well, which is fine. So if we're lucky with Ferakin here, we might be getting to 50 million damage. Almost 50 million damage. But that's kind of what we've done the first key, 50 point something. So we have Iron Brago with 11.3 million damage. How I said, a Guardian set on Iron Brago would be amazing. Ferakin the Fat, 10.8 million damage. Chris the Angelis, 6.6 million damage. Godseeker Aniri with an impressive 9.5 million damage. Underpriest Brogni with 11.5 million damage. So no counterattack, no unkillable, easy 2-key Ultra Nightmare. Now, it's not easy to get Krisk, that's the only problem, and I do feel sorry. Unfortunately, he is not replaceable in this team. Let me show you the gear, guys. So we see 2 keys, 100 million damage. We don't need more than that, right? It's anything over that is kind of an overkill, unless we are 1-keying it, of course. So that's Krisk right here. Krisk would be amazing on a Stalwart set as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the best gear, right? So because he doesn't have the top gear, we're not going to be able to get him to a 1-key. But if I would recreate this team on my own account, I'm positive 100% I'm going to take it to a 1-key Ultra Nightmare without counterattack, without unkillable. So these are the total stats on Krisk. You guys see the speed as well. 5k defense, not a lot of crit damage, 72 crit rate, 39k HP, 295 accuracy, a bit of an overkill there. Masteries, offense and defense 3. I think everybody has this defense 3 more or less. Tier 6 War Master. So that's Krisk. How I said, that's what I would change on him. Stalwart set, and of course all the champions are fully booked. Next champion that we have on the list, Underpriest Brogni, Toxic set. Not all the gear is maxed on him, how you guys can see. I would actually swap this for a HP, just to have a bigger shield. I don't want to have HP burn from him. I already have from Ferakin the Fat, so it's not really going to make a big difference overall. But we still got to max 3 pieces on the armor here. We just didn't have enough silver. Total stats, 60,000 HP almost, 1.4k attack, almost 4k defense, 227 speed, 67 crit rate, 104 crit damage, 227 accuracy, which I said I would scrap that off. Masteries, offense and defense 3, tier 6 Giant Slayer, because his passive is pretty broken. Reflects everything back, including poisons. That's why we have Toxic set. Next champion on the list, Iron Brago. 1 speed set, 1 perception set, 1 resilience set. Total stats, 38,000 HP, 5.1k defense, 269 speed, 68 crit rate, 142 crit damage, 229 accuracy. Masteries, defense and offense 3. Tier 6 we have War Master. So again, speeds are very important. The rest of stats, guys, is kind of like wherever you are able to get. And how you see, we are purely relying on heals from Brogni's passive and from Godseeker's and Iris passive, A2 A1. So that's kind of everything that heals the team. Except Chris, he has that continuous heal that heals himself, so he doesn't really need lifesteal. That's why he's more than fine on a stalwart. Godseeker on Eerie, 2 speed sets, 1 resilience set. She still needs this to be maxed, so more defense on her. She still needs this to be maxed. So we can improve a bit the team more. 31,000 HP, 4.3k defense, 244 speed, 66 crit rate, 112 crit damage. Masteries, we have offense and defense 3. Tier 6, we have War Master. And the last champion, I think is the last, no? We covered 4 of them so far. Farakin the Fat. He is replaceable by many other champions. You just gotta find the right champion for your team. Many others, they can fill the role, but up to you what you're gonna run, honestly. Total stats, 30k HP, 2.2k attack, 4.6k defense, 196 speed, 195 works as well, 77 crit rate, 105 crit damage, 277 accuracy. We do have him on a lifesteal gear, considering that he was the squishiest champion out of all of them, even though he has pretty good defense because we have defense boots on the champion, but we kind of wanted to go with that, so he still needs to have a couple of things maxed as well. And overall, I find that he's on a pretty good, he's in a good place. We have offense and support 3 now. The next thing I want to get is Sniper and Master Hexer, but we didn't have all the masteries done for the team, guys. So that's the way it looks. Endless buff team, guys. If you have the champions and the gear to achieve the speeds, pretty easy to set it up, and it's definitely a easy 2-key or 1-key Ultra Nightmare. Do let me know in the comments down below what do you think of the team. Appreciate all of you guys watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe for more content, turn on notifications to see when we upload next, and I'll see you all soon on another video. Till then, peace out.